Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, 4 nerds, by nerds, hang out with a couple of nerds.
I'm Ted.
I'm Ryan.
And if you haven't guessed it, we're going to be talking about Unearthed Arcana, Innistrad.
If you want to jump down to the description below, you can sign up for Nerdarchy, the newsletter. It's a great way to get weekly gaming tips, as well as learn how to game with us.
So I really want to develop my metal screen for all of our openings for the videos now. Everything in D&D should be metal screamed. So Magic the Gathering,
We got
Plane
Plane Shift, Innistrad, the second installment of the Magic the Gathering series that they got going on, and it really does seem that way that they're gonna keep this ball rolling.
So there's some interesting twists though with Innistrad versus Zendikar.
Absolutely.
One, Innistrad is a very contained kind of setting, and two, they did something
Much like Ravenloft.
Yeah, much like Ravenloft. That brings me to point 2. Did something really interesting. The last 7 pages of Innistrad is basically how to convert the Curse of Strahd over to
The Curse of Innistrad.
So this campaign setting has it all. It has werewolves, vampires, angels, and Ku Klux Klan assholes. Look at that. Clans. No, I mean, so they're like evil, like
They're the Inquisition
type of people, but it is hilarious how.
Although they are technically the good guys.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Zealous.
But they act like assholes.
Yeah.
They're kind of sort of good guys.
How many assholes do I have on this ship?
Yeah.
All right, so there's a whole lot of really cool stuff jam-packed into this. Do we want to go in depth? Do we want to look at it piecemeal?
First of all, people are probably confused, wondering where they can get their books.
Well, this is a
You gotta go to Ted's house and beat the shit out of him and take it. Yeah.
This is a PDF download that you can grab from Watts. I again went through the process and got mine printed because I'm not a fan of trying to read a PDF at the table.
Yeah, they have their digital D&D magazine they can download every month, and this was part of it.
So, did you have to get another special letter of
Yep.
permission? Yeah.
Yeah, God, I knew how to do it this time, so it was a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
But they had grabbed more artwork from the Art of Magic the Gathering, and the stuff is awesome and fantastic.
I believe James Wyatt spearheaded this as well.
He's the writer, the
Show us
artist.
the awesome art.
The cover art is by Adam Paquette.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different artists that do a lot of the Magic the Gathering
Right.
art, I believe. But
Yeah.
the reason why I bring up James Wyatt, because he did a lot of writing in Eberron.
Okay.
And I even read a couple of his novels, and I actually consider that like the tail end of Wizards of the Coast era, putting novels out that are worth reading. And he did some stuff that I enjoyed.
So with this, you get a breakdown of the world and the life on Innistrad, and it's pretty interesting because we have something that we haven't had before, and that's sub-races of humans.
Yes, the Innistrad is unique in the sense that there is no demi-humans, no dwarves, no elves, halflings, and whatnot.
It's
all
just humans.
Also, in Innistrad, there is no optional human. It's either the standard human or one of these
Right.
sub races, basically. So that's kind of interesting. That a little bit turns me off to playing Innistrad, but I like it for cherry picking. There's cool stuff in there, like backgrounds and sub races of humans.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of addicted to my halflings, elves, and gnomes and dwarves.
I agree, but there's nothing to say that you couldn't adapt Innistrad and just say
Put
that
the,
they're-
No, it says it right in there somewhere.
Yeah,
So you can't have to. Watts will show up in their suits and be like, they'll end your game.
Yeah. So you put the elves in, you put the dwarves in. Yeah. Figure out how this works. Yeah. Right.
So there's a lot of incredibly useful flavor of what's here, and as you said, you can cherry pick the information that you like. We have a new background of the Inquisitor, which I think is pretty darn cool.
Was there only one new background there?
I think that's the only one.
Yep, just this one. Then we move on to the creatures of the night. Rawr, werewolf.
So yeah, the interesting thing about that is they didn't so much add new monsters, but give you kind of like weaker, lesser versions
The alternative
of monsters we're used to.
slightly alternative
So-
lore for them.
You have werewolf, the Kralin Horde, which is only a challenge 3, so you've got a weaker version there.
What is the traditional, 5 or 4?
I think a 5 or a 6.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't have my monster manual.
It's
on
too
me.
far away.
It was sitting right near us, but someone moved it away.
We had to create room. You got the vampire neonate, which is only a challenge 5, which is a significant drop from the 7 or 9 that I think the regular
the spawn
vampire
might
is.
be a little bit weaker, but I like it because you know for those lower levels, your players are going to encounter more weaker monsters, so it enables you to put these in your game sooner, as well as it also gives you ways to power them up, so you get the whole range, and you can still use others.
So the werewolf is actually CR3.
Dope.
Huh.
Really?
So it's just an alternate build, I guess.
Yeah. So go to vampire next. Vampire. See what that is. So and also like in the different sections, it also gives you variant monsters to use from the monster manual
to serve in different niches of
Of the
much-
Magic the Gathering creatures.
Yeah, much like it did in the Zendikar book as well.
Okay, so vampire is a CR13
This
versus
is a 5.
a CR5.
It's the spawn though. That's like the weaker version.
And we'll look at the spawn, and the spawn is that's a CR5.
Okay, so it's an alternate version of the spawn.
Yeah.
But the thing is, as you were saying, is you have the ability to kind of power them up.
So it gives you like this in between range.
So you've got the ability to make it a shape changer, have it has the charm effect, it has flight.
Yeah, it's pretty much all this stuff from the vampires if you want to beat them up. Because the idea is the older vampires are more powerful and they've learned new tricks to perform.
Then we have the Geist, which I think is really
Yeah, they're pretty neat.
really interesting. Now, is this supposed to be like a new version
They're
of
ghosts.
Ghost?
They're basically ghosts. What's the CR on those?
On the Geists?
Yeah, a 4?
4.
Okay. So, all in all, I like all the lore in here. I like the story elements of this. I'm really surprised though, like that they didn't change the monsters that much as far as CR, and they reprinted them because
Yeah, they're pretty similar. Another fan favorite for me too is the creepy doll was pretty fun.
Creepy dolls keep going.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the animated doll. I almost forgot about
Yeah,
that.
the creepy
It's
doll.
actually the only like new monster.
Right.
Yeah. Because it is sort of.
Yep, we gotta keep going.
Oh.
So the creepy doll is a challenge 2, and it's another constructed creature.
Yeah.
And it's got the full stat block, and there's a lot of stuff that you could do with the creepy doll.
Like
Because-
possess one of your players.
Well, yes, you can absolutely do that, but imagine if you were to have these things in your world, and after so long of not being kicked out of the body, like what happens if like there became this kind of connectivity between the controlling body and the creepy doll, and that was now your character.
Oh, the doll.
Well, no, because when it takes over, it kicks you out and you go into the doll, right? Is that what it
No,
is?
you're. I think you're put under. You're like basically you're there, but like the doll's in control. The
Right, so
spirit.
that's what I'm saying. So, like, if you're both in the same body,
Yeah.
if after enough time something happens and, like, you're just going to play that character with these two souls or two consciousnesses inhabiting the same body. I think
It doesn't the actual the target of the possession ends up inhabiting the body of the creepy doll.
Okay.
With its whopping 6 strength. So yeah, I mean it's
Oh yeah,
basically-
because you need them close together in order to transfer them back.
Yeah, so if you're the creepy doll possessing someone, you friggin' tie up the doll form and then like stuff it in a jar in a cabinet somewhere.
Even better, like keep it in a little cage.
Yeah, but not
Like
not anywhere near you because you need the two in the same room to undo the possession.
Right.
Like Yeah, but I think it's not that easy. Like like the person doesn't have the ability to undo it. You need a third party.
Right.
Oh yeah, no, that's true.
You need a
but you need the doll.
Good spell.
Yeah.
You need the doll in the same. You need it within 5 feet. So if you like lock it up and stash it somewhere as the creepy doll inhabiting the body.
Yeah, like I see, like the practicality of doing that is there, but it would not be fun. Like I would want the doll in a cage somewhere. It's, frustrated, railing against its circumstances.
So there's lots of fun options that you can do with that.
And also the dots to be really close too. It's not like the same room isn't enough. Like 5 foot, I think it's that
5 feet.
specific.
Yeah.
So
It is.
So you put it up high on the ceiling or something.
All right. So my favorite thing out of this entire book is smack dab in the middle, and that's the section called Necro Alchemists. They are essentially spellcasters, necromancers that use alchemical device and alchemy to power everything they're doing with the actual souls and spirits of other creatures.
Like Geists.
2
Like
words for you
Geists.
guys. Mad scientist.
Like a Dr. Frankenstein type character.
I think the craziness of that is just so amazing. Reading that, I'm just inundated with ideas of adding things to Chimes of Discordia, to creating NPCs that I'd like to use this kind of stuff with.
Because these guys, right? The Necro Alchemists, they actually dabble into using the Geist stuff, but that's not their primary thing, because there's someone that actually just does that. I think the Ghoul Callers, are those the ones that just do the channel the Geists?
Let's see.
Because one of them definitely does that.
They're more of like a classic, like, necromancer,
yeah.
more so. But
the Necro Alchemists literally use the Geists.
Yeah, I
as
think they're the
fuel
most
for their spells.
power.
they're the most the most Geist oriented.
Like they will actually capture souls and spirits inside of tubes, jars, vials, and unleash
Whatever they
them.
have.
The Scabbrin use a little bit of Geist stuff, and then
they're
they're
the
also
ones that-
they create like golems and stuff like that. Like
They're mostly creations of golem creators, but they occasionally do other stuff.
They
with,
dabble.
They dabble.
Yeah.
But it's the Necro Alchemists that are using the Geist, and I find them.
My bad. I
Totally
read
crazy.
it. I read it all the other day. It's 40 pages to absorb.
It's 40 pages. I mean, there's a ton of art, so it kind of
Makes it go quicker.
Yeah.
But fantastic, fan-freaking-tastic.
So one of the things that I like that they did in this is like they have the church. What's the church called? Assyrian, Asian.
Avacyn.
Avacyn is the angel.
It's also the church, which is the religion. And it's funny. There's no gods. They just worship the angels.
Yep.
So generally you have your angels, which are the middlemen from the gods and the mortals, and they just they didn't cut out the middlemen. They just cut out the upper management.
Yeah. Well, the middlemen became the upper management, so they got a promotion.
Yeah, it's very much like Supernatural. I wonder if Supernatural ripped it off from
Magic.
Magic the Gathering, because like the idea is God kind of leaves and the angels just run things.
So the angels, they do actually give some angelic inspiration or new things that you can give to angels that would be flavored in this particular world.
Like making them mad and crazy and evil.
Well, beyond that, like actual like mechanics. So, depending upon which flight the angel is a part of, determines what kind of ability it would wind up getting. Including once they go mad, they could possibly have this moon silver spear, which makes it all kinds of awesome.
Yeah, I mean, they just go mad and then they start like torching commoner people all around. And stuff.
Yeah, all the art is amazing.
Yeah, well, I mean, Magic the Gathering art has always been phenomenal. The game is very like art driven, so.
So then you get this nice flavorful section of the Rise of Emrakul.
Which is another Zendikar Titan.
It's a Titan, so it's essentially on par with the
our level of like the Tarrasque, the Kraken.
no, it's out of the Abyss, the Demon Lords.
Okay.
and it specifically says that somewhere. Which
Oh yeah, they even tell you which one to use. And
well, they say it would be on par with the Demon Lords from Out of the Abyss. I don't think it actually gives a specific.
Which is, it's really cool how how this presence from this creature comes in and corrupts the angel, and really basically that's when all hell breaks loose, when the angels become the worst thing ever, and they used to be, the guardians that were holding back the storm of evil and chaos, but now they are the storm.
And before you finish off with the 7 pages to modify your Curse of Strahd to the Curse of Innistrad, there's a nice page of, hey, if you're playing in this world and you want to dabble with that alternate rule of sanity, if you start to go insane, here's some cool things that you can have happen. And it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different categories and how you can be reshaped by this world and your lack of being sane.
So, which start to turn you into monstrosities of, basically it's other monsters from the monster manual. But I mean, it gives you an alternative, like, that's just inspiration that if you're playing this setting, to explain the lore of all those different races of, like, oh, these are all new things that are into the world, because the world is very, like, human-centric, and so you wouldn't have all these strange things happening, except for within the last few years it did start to happen. I don't know what the timeline is.
It also gives the world a very
Lovecraftian,
Cthulhian feel to it as well. You can definitely go into a dark horror type game playing Innistrad.
Yeah. Well, and then if you put it, basically you can reskin a Strahd campaign, follow along, and just like modify it. So if you have players that were really into the Zendikar plane shift Magic the Gathering block, it lets you take an existing property which you have in a whole campaign module for, you modify it with this book, and you can bring your Magic the Gathering players like really into a world that they're already all familiar with. So that's really cool.
So all in all, not bad for free, huh?
Yeah, and for a free product, or getting a letter from Wizards of the Coast that you can go get it printed for like $20. Another wise purchase.
Indeed.
Yeah, I was never really into the Magic the Gathering scene, but I'm really impressed with the stuff they're putting out. It's top notch. It's good quality, and I feel like it's slightly a step above some of the other Unearthed Arcana, where most of the stuff you can kind of drop it right in your game. It's ready to go.
I mean, this
feels more complete.
This is a setting. It's ready to go.
Yeah, it definitely has that feel of like passion project, because it's clearly a lot of work went into that. So,
and again about the art, yeah, Magic the Gathering has always had great art, but there's a huge difference between looking at it this big and like a full page art.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you guys think of Innistrad? Are you enjoying it? Did you like it? Let us know in the comments below. While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
You can check us out on nerdarchy.com.
Or you can patronize us in a good way over on Patreon.
So until next time,
Stay nerdy.